Las Vegas and KSHP.com.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program's participants and do not necessarily reflect those of station staff, management, and advertisers.
It's time for the most interactive radio program in Las Vegas today. It's time for Pushing the Limits with Brian Shapiro. Brian will talk sports, politics, entertainment, and anything that matters to you. Feel free to call Brian at 702-221-7283.
You want answers? I want the truth!
Now, Pushing the Limits, here's Brian Shapiro.
All right, what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. It is Pushing the Limits. Thank you so much for joining us. Broadcasting all over the place. We're on the FM AM dial, of course. Of course we are. On the radio, but YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, our Facebook fan page, we're all over the place, and we're so glad you make us a part of your day. Or at least I am. I don't know if everybody else is, but I'm happy you make me a part of your day. I'm happy about that. We have a very big show today. Ladies and gentlemen, it brings with me great pleasure to announce the 45th President of the United States will be joining us, or at least he's expected to join us at the beginning of hour number 2. That's right, Donald J. Trump, who's got a pretty stressful week. He's had a pretty stressful month. Fourth indictment coming up. He's expected to turn himself in on Thursday with the Republican debate tomorrow, which will he not be attending. I will ask him about that. I was told we have about 5 to 10 minutes with the 45th President of the United States who will be joining us at the top of the hour, and I'm sure there are some questions he won't be able to answer, but I'll still ask them. So he'll be joining us. You don't want to miss that. We have a lot to get to. Henry Ruggs is now behind bars. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Get into some sports topics in hour number 2 as well. Boy, this is really sad. I'm really sad to announce that Larry Elder, who joined the show a few weeks ago, will not be on the debate stage tomorrow. So what does somebody like Larry Elder do? Now he's threatening to sue the RNC, because that's what these morons do. These right-wing buffoons, this is what they do. If they don't get their way, Larry Elder doesn't even have 1% of the vote. Not even 1% of the vote. So the RNC, rightfully so, said, if you don't have 1%, you can't be on the stage. So what does Larry Elder do? Threaten a lawsuit, because that's what a scumbag attorney would do. And Larry Elder, make no mistake about it, is a scumbag. When he did this show a few weeks ago, and by the way, I don't even care if he doesn't do the show anymore, because he's an impossible interview. He interrupts. He doesn't let the interviewer ask questions. He doesn't answer questions. And he gives the attitude that he is smarter than everybody else in the room. Let me tell you something. Larry Elder is not. He grew up a Democrat, and then he started to be an independent, did some radio, and then decided a black man as a conservative and a far righty will get big ratings and make a lot of money. And that's what he decided to do. Same thing with the Candace Owens of the world and others, or Leo 2.0. They're all Democrats, but they'll never say that publicly, because if they spew right-wing hate and right-wing propaganda, they make more appearances on Fox News, they get to sell books, and they get to be Larry Elder. Now Larry Elder today, not able to be on the debate stage. By the way, this is the same guy who says systemic racism doesn't exist. Interesting. He's suing the RNC. There's only one person that's suing the RNC, and they happen to be black. And they're not allowing you on stage. So maybe systemic racism does exist, Mr. Elder. Larry Elder is a complete idiot. He would have no chance to win any election. He was embarrassed by Gavin Newsom when he tried to out Gavin Newsom. And now he's being embarrassed by the party that he seems to defend all the time. And now he wants to sue the RNC. So congratulations, Larry Elder. I did request an interview with him today. They declined. Probably a good move on their part, because I would embarrass him more. But this is just an embarrassing situation for Larry Elder. And the debate is tomorrow. We have special guests coming up later in the week to preview it. Joe Walsh going to be joining us tomorrow. He's going to be previewing the debate. We're going to have a guest from Politico that's going to be joining us, that's going to be previewing the debate. And, of course, Thursday, to kind of give us reaction, we're going to have the former Republican chair, Amy Tarkanian, going to be joining us on Thursday to give us reaction. It's a very, very, very busy week. And I'm actually looking forward to the debate tomorrow and Ron DeSantis making a fool of himself. I wanted to start off today, which is a story that's going to be tough for me to talk about because it's emotional, it's difficult, and it's why I always talk about hate and hate speech and attacks. It could be attacks on your religion. It could be attacking you for your race. It could be attacking you for your sexuality. And I watched this story yesterday on the news, and it brought tears to my eyes. I'm going to be honest with you. And I'll explain why. And then tell you guys why I'm talking about this story and why hate speech can lead to situations like this. And you might have heard this story, you might not have, but you should hear this story because it's important. A Southern California clothing store owner was shot and killed a few days ago after an argument about a rainbow pride flag hanging outside her business. That's right. Her name, Laura Ann Carlton, 66 years old. She died from a gunshot wound in her store about 80 miles east of Los Angeles. The 27-year-old shooter is also dead following a shootout with deputies. This woman, all she did was put one of those LGBT-friendly flags in front of her store. That's all she did, which anybody should be allowed to do in a free country. And what was she promoting? Equality. Treating everybody as equals, regardless of your sexuality. By the way, this woman wasn't even gay. But she put this flag out there in support of the LGBTQ community, which I would support. I think any decent human being that is not a bigot would support that. And it seems to me that LGBTQ Americans are living in a state of emergency. There are threats facing millions in that community. Millions. Real, tangible, and dangerous threats. Why? Because of their sexuality. Because some of them might not be like you. This is horrific, said California Governor Gavin Newsom, which he's right. He said the disgusting hate has no place in California. I agree, it has no place anywhere. And what makes this story even more sad is that here's a woman who dedicated her life, to treating everybody with respect, to treating everybody as equals, and she's dead for that. And this isn't the first time she's had run-ins with people. She put out a flag last year, an LGBTQ flag last year, got into an argument with some customers, and that made her more determined, and she went and bought a bigger flag. And this deranged individual goes into the store and shoots her because of it. And I heard her daughter doing an interview with Anderson Cooper yesterday. Apparently, this is the way this woman lived her entire life, and she died standing up for what she believed in. And as I said, the store's flag had been torn down several times and replaced with a bigger flag. And friends are saying that she was fearless. And any negative reaction she got, she powered through it. And she wasn't afraid to stand up to anybody. And they were just about to replace the old flag. Now, obviously, this is a disgusting story. I agree with Gavin Newsom. It's horrible. And my thoughts go out to her family and friends. This is just, words can't describe, what they must be going through. This is just awful. But this is also important to talk about stories like this. Because when you hear every day from the far right, because it's not the left, let's just call it for what it is, the far right, going after those in the LGBTQ community, going after drag queens, reading books to kids, going after transgenders, really going after anybody that isn't exactly like them. what happens? These types of things can happen. If we had more people saying that it's okay to be gay, there's nothing wrong with being gay. It's not a sin to be gay. It's okay to be transgender. Let's treat everybody with respect. Let's treat everybody as equals. You might not agree with their lifestyle, but let's treat everybody with respect. Let's give everybody the equal rights that they deserve. If somebody wants to have a gay pride flag, let them do it. Nothing wrong with that. If we had more people talking like that, then these types of incidents, I guarantee you, wouldn't happen as much. There will always be deranged people in society, but when you give them a reason to do something to somebody else, this is the end result. Obviously, this person who committed this horrible crime, mentally deranged, right? Hateful, mentally deranged person. But where do you think this person got this hate from? Look at yourself in the mirror. Are you one of those people that attacks the gay community? Are you one of those people that doesn't think two people that are gay should be married? Are you one of those people that talks down or looks at someone as being weird because they're gay? Are you one of those people that do that? Are you one of those people that goes to a church and thinks that being gay is a sin? Now, I'm not saying you're going to murder somebody, but when you spread that sort of rhetoric, and I call it bigotry and hatred, you're giving deranged individuals an opportunity or a reason to go out and commit violent acts. I talk about this stuff all the time. And it's terrible. It's beyond terrible. And that's why I talk about these issues. That's why I talk about the LGBTQ community. That's why I talk about, people that spread so much hatred towards transgenders and people who are gay and people that might be different than you. That's why I try to call them out. Because not only is it wrong and you're spreading your bigotry, but it can lead to violence. It can lead to violent acts. And this 66-year-old woman, a mother, a wife, is now dead because there was a deranged individual who saw a gay pride flag and took that and turned that into killing somebody. And mark my words, the attacks on the transgender community, the attacks on those who are gay, consistently from the far right. And yes, I'm going to put evangelicals and far right people there and a lot of Christians who come to the belief that their religion is high almighty and everybody else is wrong and their religion is right. You religious nutcases out there, you Bible thumpers is what you are. You sick idiots. I understand there are good Christians out there and people that would never speak down to others or treat others differently. But in some religions, it speaks to the fact that if you are gay, you are a sinner. That is the definition of bigotry, and many of you hide behind your religion. And when asked about it, about why you feel like being gay is a sin, you hide behind your religion and you bring up your religion or what something might say in a book that somebody wrote as an excuse to hide your bigotry and not take responsibility. Listen, if you think being gay is a sin, then own your bigotry. Just own it. Yes, I'm a bigot. I think being gay is a sin. Just own it because that's who you are. I don't want to hear excuses about your religion. I don't want to hear excuses about what your pastor said. I don't want to hear any of that stuff or what you think Jesus or God may or may not think about gay people. I don't want to hear about that because you have no idea. Neither do I. I want to know how you feel about it, about treating people differently because they're not like you. This woman is now dead. And while you might say to yourself, well, it's not my fault. I would never commit a violent act. I didn't do it. It's not my fault. You are a part of the problem when you spread hate and bigotry. And when you give people an opportunity to commit violent acts. And you're damn right, I'm going to tie this into January 6th or other type of violent acts when our politicians say things and do things to incite violence. The constant attacks on CNN, fake news, and then we had somebody sending pipe bombs to CNN. That is what we call inciting violence. What's going on now with our justice system? What's going on now with the threats that I think we all should take seriously? We all should take these threats seriously. It could be against a judge. It could be against a juror. It could be against a witness. Words matter, especially when you have a platform. And yes, when you have all these people on the far right, politicians and people with platforms that attack drag queens, that attack the LGBTQ community, those that have big platforms, incidents like this happen. Why is that so hard for some of you to understand? Why is that so hard? I don't understand it myself. Why is that so hard? When you spew hatred and bigotry, crazy people do crazy things and evil things. Like when you say the election was stolen and the Democrats cheated and Joe Biden cheated. This is what happens. You have something called January 6th where people die and officers are beaten and lives are changed forever. And there's like 300 people that are still behind bars today. Now, yes, of course, I blame those people who committed those horrible, violent acts, but I also blame the messenger. And while I blame this 27-year-old evil human being for killing this innocent woman for having a gay pride flag, I also partially blame all of you for saying being gay is a sin. I partially blame all of you. You're a part of this woman's death. You're the one who spreads evil. You're the one who spreads hate. And when you spread hatred and bigotry, people get angry. They buy into it. And innocent people die. It's been happening for hundreds and hundreds of years, the attacks and discrimination against the gay community. And murdering people. And this woman, all this woman did was put a gay pride flag in front of her store, well within her rights to do that. And by the way, I applaud people who do that. And people say, well, how come we don't have straight flags? Because straight people haven't been discriminated against because they're straight. That's why. Gay people have been discriminated against because of their sexuality for God knows how many years. That's why. That's why we don't have a straight parade. Have you seen anybody killed or discriminated against because they're straight? I haven't in my lifetime. I haven't been discriminated against because I'm straight. Have you? But all the people in my life that I know that are gay that tell me stories about how they've been discriminated against. Let me tell you something. You can take your religion and shove it up your ass. If your religion tells you, or your pastor or priest or whoever, rabbi, whoever it is, tells you that being gay is a sin, they can shove it. Because they believe in bigotry is what they believe. Just because somebody tells you something doesn't mean you have to believe in it. I know people, decent people, smart people, successful people that watch Newsmax all day long, and they are gone. They are lost. They think Joe Biden started the war in the Ukraine. They think Joe Biden is the reason why your gas prices are so high and inflation is so high. They blame all their problems on Joe Biden. And when it comes to Donald Trump, two-tier justice system, George Soros, it's the Joe Biden DOJ, even though we know that these are some Trump appointees that have actually gone after Trump and are prosecuting him. If you watch Newsmax all day long, you're brainwashed. If you're dumb enough to buy into what they spew every day. There are good people in this country that are completely lost. They are completely brainwashed. And it's not healthy and it's sad because it's not news. It's propaganda. And some of these people out there actually want Vladimir Putin to win. Those who call people in the Ukraine Nazis, those who don't think we should be sending any money or any artillery or any help or aid to the Ukraine, who blame Joe Biden for the war, these people are dumb as a doornail. These are MAGA morons. These people are dopes. They're extremely dumb people. What is MAGA? Who are most of the people in this country that support MAGA? Middle-aged, uneducated white people. There you go. I said it. That's who these people are. the majority of them, uneducated, middle of the road, middle of the country, far-right extremist bigots. I mean, really, that's who these people are within the MAGA movement. They might as well hand out Klan outfits to these people. They hate you if you're gay. They hate you if you're black. They hate you if you're not exactly like them. And sometimes that hate turns into violence. We saw it on January 6th, and this poor innocent woman in California who all she did was put a gay pride flag in front of her store, and she was murdered. And I guarantee you the person that murdered her ain't a liberal, ain't a Democrat. And maybe it's somebody that, was part of the right fringe group. Somebody that bought into the hatred towards those who are gay. Yeah, our children are being indoctrinated. Story time with drag queens is the end of the world for our children. Our schools are indoctrinating our children. And when you hear that every day, and you watch the same news outlets every day, spew the same hatred and bigotry and nonsense every day, crazy people do crazy things. And you give them a reason to do it. I don't care what people do with their sexuality. As long as they're not breaking the law, I don't care, because you know why? I tend to not care about things that don't affect me. For example, if there was a gay pride parade on Las Vegas Boulevard every day of the week, as long as it didn't affect my driving and my traffic, I wouldn't care at all. But many of you people would. Many of you people would care. I don't care. I'm telling you, the people that have the biggest issues with those that are gay or those that are transgender are usually people that either have had traumatic experiences in their life, maybe sexual traumatic experiences in their life, or maybe they're gay themselves and they're just afraid to come out, which is sad, by the way. It's just disgusting. It's terrible. Open up the phone line, 702-221-7283. And again, the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation, 702-221-7283. I do want to take a break, but when we come back, what I do want to do is I want to talk about some new information in this Georgia case against Donald Trump. I want to play you some audio that Vivek Ramaswamy made about the possibility of pardoning Donald Trump. He thinks that's going to somehow bring the country together, which is absurd. And then speaking of race, listen, there's a Democrat in New York that said some atrocious things that I think he should be outed. A Democrat representative out of New York. I'm going to play that audio as well. And then, as I mentioned, the 45th president of the United States, Donald Trump, will be joining us at the top of the hour. We will take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Hey, everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site x-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams and treatments such as testosterone enhancement and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices, office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client, so please give them a call, 702-248-0554.
Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada has ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well. So I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust and someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Wynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-540-3311.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. I want to tell you guys about my good friends at the Postal Annex. They have a notary signing agent on-site daily, no appointment needed, and they offer a full scale of printing services from shipping labels to documents, business cards, banners, photos, and business signage. They're your passport service headquarters. They offer passport photos, and they can renew your adult passports. If you're traveling in a hurry, they can get those passports to you within 7 days or less. Mailbox rentals with a physical street address, and they also receive your packages from Amazon, UPS, FedEx, USPS, and more. Here's the best part. If you're a Pushing the Limits listener, they have an introductory rate of only $39 for a 3-month service. You can't beat it. Give them a call, 702-873-8005. Check them out at 6130 West Flamingo Road. It's the Postal Annex. Tell them I sent you. Hey, Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. Fantasy football draft is upon us. And in Las Vegas, your #1 draft party destination is Sapphire. Don't miss their sexy sports podcaster and Instagram vixen, Lisa Ann, kicking off the fantasy football draft party poolside at Sapphire Day Club, complete with dozens of topless entertainers and cocktail servers, bartenders, free Wi-Fi, and, of course, fantasy draft boards to stake your top picks. Draft poolside or inside Sapphire Las Vegas. Packages are available now online at sapphirelasvegas.com and sapphiredayclub.com. Text or call 702-869-0003 to reserve your draft party today. Again, that number, 702-869-0003, and I'll see you at Sapphire.
Welcome to Hash House A Go-Go, where we've been serving farm food and crafted cocktails for over 2 decades. Visit us for the full Hash House experience at any of our 5 Las Vegas locations. Hash House A Go-Go is where old school meets new and gets twisted. We bring people together over good food and fun. Come in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and come hungry because our portions are huge. Visit us online to see our entire menu at hashhouseagogo.com. Hash House A Go-Go. It's a Midwest thing, and there's nothing else like it.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. It's going to be a big news day tomorrow as we got the first Republican presidential debate set in stone to go in Wisconsin. Very sad that Larry Elder is not going to be on that stage. So sad. Maybe it's systemic racism. Maybe Larry's thinking that in his head. I don't know. But so sad to hear about that. I want to tell you guys about my favorite gaming bar in town, Jackson's Bar and Grill. It's located at Flamingo and Jones. They got great promotions, great food, great atmosphere. I took my parents to their dinner the other day, and it's a great place to game in more ways than one, if you know what I'm saying. Jackson's Bar and Grill, located at Flamingo and Jones. Please get out there, tell them I sent you, and they got great promotions as well on those slot machines, and tell them I sent you. So I do read the chats and the social media comments from time to time. It's rare because I'm focused on what I'm doing. It's not that I want to ignore people, but I do find this interesting because there's a MAGA. He's watching on YouTube. His name is Trav. I looked up his profile. He has 2 subscribers and 2 pictures of him in front of some sort of a pickup truck. So looks like a MAGA supporter to me. I'm going to profile him. I didn't see how many teeth he had, though. I'll be honest with you. He could have a full set of teeth. I don't know. I'm going to guess the over-under on how many teeth he has is probably 8.5. I'm just guessing. So Travis writes, and while I'm talking about this innocent poor woman that was murdered because she had a gay pride flag in front of her store, and I'm talking about equality, He said, I know it must suck to look in the mirror, but do it sometime and maybe you will see who the one spreading hate every day really is. Okay, so my question to Travis is, and my statement to Travis is, don't be a coward. Why don't you call into the show and tell me what I've said that you think is incorrect or I'm spreading hate. I'm calling out people that don't treat everybody as equals. I'm calling out people and calling them bigots, people that attack other people because their religion is not the same or their sexuality is not the same. I'm the one calling out those who spread hateful rhetoric. I'm the one who wants everyone to be treated as equals. So please explain to me how I'm spreading hate. You see, because when you call out racism or, any type of bigotry and somebody's actually a racist or a bigot, they'll try to turn it on you. Oh, you're race baiting. You don't know what you're talking about. If someone lives their life every day and they have this hatred towards people who might be gay or maybe a different skin color, if you call them out on it, they'll try to turn it on. Oh, no, I'm not racist at all. I have one black friend. I have a black friend. Or, oh, I'm not homophobic at all. I have many gay friends. They'll get very defensive and then they'll try to turn it on you. And I just wanted to be clear. That's Travis on YouTube, who has 2 subscribers and has a very sexy profile pic in front of his pickup truck, which I would imagine he probably lives in. Thank you for the comments, Travis. Appreciate you watching. You sound like a very intelligent person. Anyway, things are starting to heat up because in this Trump indictment in Georgia, Donald Trump is expected to turn himself in on Thursday. He's going to get the mugshot. He's going to get fingerprinted. But a lot of his co-conspirator associates, 19 of them, some of them have already turned themselves in. Former Georgia Republican Party Chair David Schaefer has said attorneys for former President Donald Trump and his campaign and the local GOP were responsible for urging him to assemble a slate of false presidential electors that are now at the heart of the sprawling racketeering case. Schaefer's among many other defendants, as I said, that have been indicted. According to Schaefer's attorney, who wrote, Mr. Schaefer and the other Republican electors in the 2020 election acted at the direction of the incumbent president and other federal officials. I actually believe that. It doesn't mean he didn't commit a crime, but I do believe his attorney, and I do believe him. Schaefer provided allegedly new documents that or I shouldn't say allegedly, he did. He provided new documents that underscore the Trump campaign's close involvement in the efforts to assemble a group of pro-Trump activists on December 14th, 2020, to sign documents claiming to be Georgia's legitimate presidential electors. This is what we would call a fake electorate scheme. And when those of you out there that are MAGA morons, people on the far right, that are still Donald Trump supporters, God bless you, that say these charges are fake, this is the Joe Biden DOJ, she's going after Trump to boost her career. Everyone has the right to an opinion, even though his opinion was the election was stolen. He had the right to contest. That's not what this is about. Let's be very clear about these indictments, or at least when it comes to this one in Georgia. This is about the key core of this case, if you read the indictment, is about a fake electorate scheme. Going against the free will of the people in a free and fair election, trying to produce a fake electorate scheme. We know that it went across right here in the state of Nevada. No question that Mike McDonald was a part of this. He wouldn't even answer a very direct question which by the FBI, which was, did you have any part in this fake electorate scheme? Because he did. That's the core of this case. It's not contesting an election. And for you idiots out there, and that's what you are, you're idiots if you compare Hillary Clinton. First of all, Hillary Clinton conceded that night. Hillary Clinton has made some statements about election interference, Russian interference, which, by the way, Russia did interfere. I don't think that really changed the outcome of the 2016 election, but Russia did interfere. But people try to compare and conflate. And then when we talk about Jack Smith's case and we talk about the documents, many people on the far right want to talk about Hillary Clinton. And they want to talk about, what about all the emails? What about all the emails that she deleted? But again, you're obviously very ignorant if that's the way you think, because way before the FBI was asking her questions about that. Those emails and everything were destroyed way before the FBI got involved. Now, unless you're a moron, you would understand that if you have a cell phone or a computer, you're allowed to do whatever you want with that. You're allowed to delete anything you want. You're allowed to destroy it. I have a cell phone right here. If I decided to destroy this cell phone, it's not against the law. That's the difference between these cases. Hillary Clinton or whoever did this, wiped the server clean, did it way before the FBI got involved and served a subpoena. Donald Trump was served a subpoena and he refused. Let me repeat. He refused to, he defied the subpoena and refused to comply with the FBI. The opposite of the Hillary Clinton case. But so many of you fail to understand that are on the far right. Again, you watch Newsmax all day. You watch Fox News. You listen to these right-wing conservative clowns like Mark Levin and Sean Hannity who refuse to tell you the truth every single day. That is the truth. The Hillary Clinton case with the servers being wiped out and the Donald Trump case with the classified documents have nothing to do with one another. They're completely different. That server was wiped clean way before the FBI got involved and there was any sort of subpoena or anything like that. Donald Trump was served a subpoena and he defied it. He did not cooperate. Do we understand the difference? If Donald Trump cooperated with that subpoena, there's a chance that he wouldn't have been charged. But Donald Trump is an idiot. He's stupid. And I don't even think Donald Trump was trying to sell anything, any of that information. I really don't. I'll defend him there. I just think he's so dumb. He did it for his ego, and people came to Mar-a-Lago, and he showed off these classified documents thinking that it was his right to do so because he's a moron. And nobody's ever told him no in his life. Do we understand the difference now between Hillary and Donald Trump, regardless of what your personal feelings are towards either person? And then we talk about two-tier justice system. And oh my goodness, look at the two-tier justice system. Funny, I didn't hear these Republicans saying that when Hillary Clinton was investigated by Republicans 8 times when it came to Benghazi. 8 times. Every single conservative talk show host said that she's going down. Everybody on Fox News, including Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Tucker Carlson, when he was on Fox News. She's going down. She's responsible for these deaths. Everybody on the right was saying that. And then Republicans led these investigations, 8 of them, and they found no criminal wrongdoing. Did anybody retract their statements? Did any of these Republicans apologize? No. But yeah, it's a two-tier justice system, you idiots. It's not Joe Biden's DOJ. Many of these people that were assigned to prosecute Donald Trump were actually appointed by Donald Trump, you buffoons. How could you be this stupid? And then Ramaswamy, who is either number 2 or number 3 in most polls right now, who I am so disappointed with. And I don't care what he says on the debate stage tomorrow. This guy saying that he would give Vladimir Putin parts of Ukraine and basically allow Vladimir Putin to win. Is that anybody that we should listen to? Well, Mr. Ramaswamy is now saying that he would pardon Donald Trump. That's right. We have the audio to prove it for you right here. This is the man himself running for president of the United States without even knowing all the evidence or seeing the cases through, says that he will pardon Donald Trump. Listen to this.
And so that's the truth of the matter. As it relates to the indictments, and by the way, I don't believe skirting around questions. I'm not a politician. I'm just going to tell you straight what I think, and people don't like it, then they don't have to vote for me. I will pardon Donald Trump because I believe that these are politicized persecutions through prosecution. I'm in a unique position to do that because Donald Trump, if you believe years of case law in this country, can't pardon himself. So I would need to be in that office to get that job done, not just for Trump, but for Ross Ulbricht, for Julian Assange, for Douglas Mackey, for countless peaceful protesters on January 6th. Anytime there's been 2 standards of justice where somebody was prosecuted because of their political orientation or because of political circumstances, they will be the subject of a presidential pardon. And for me, that's not an exception for Donald Trump. That's just me following my principle that Donald Trump is on that list. He is being prosecuted under circumstances that an ordinary person would not have been prosecuted for if it was under a different political vantage point.
Completely ridiculous. Yeah, you're right. Donald Trump is not an ordinary person. If this was an ordinary person, they would already be behind bars, you dope. Just look at Donald Trump's charity organization. Look at how they stole money. And then, in a plea deal, Trump had to pay a $2 million fine. You look at the same cases of what Ramaswamy says, ordinary people. Those people, some of those people are in jail for the exact same crime, but Donald Trump only had to pay a fine. So, yeah, you're right. He would be treated differently if he was an ordinary person. I guarantee you he'd already be in jail. I do think the New York case with Stormy Daniels is definitely the weakest of them all. Defying the subpoena with the classified documents, a fake electorate scheme which will be proven in court. Donald Trump is going down, in Mike Marr words, he is going to go to jail. I believe he's going to jail. 91 felony counts. He's going to jail. But yet, Ramaswamy, this is what drives me crazy about this guy. He's obviously an intelligent guy. He's articulate. He's well-spoken. Make no mistake about it, I'm a fairly intelligent person. I know why he's saying these things. Because he wants to appease the Republican base. He wants those MAGA supporters on his side. And when he makes statements like he would pardon Donald Trump, he knows that they love that. Hey, I think I like this guy. He's not going to put Donald Trump in jail. He's going to pardon him. This guy has zero credibility. Ramaswamy has zero credibility. When asked about gun violence on Fox News, he talked about Nashville, and he said he flew to Nashville and wanted to get the manifesto from the transgender shooter. By the way, transgender shooters are less than a quarter of a percentage point of all the mass shootings in this country. But that's what he wants to focus on. Why? Because the Republican base loves it. When you talk about gun control, let's take that opportunity not to put more laws on the books to make this country safer. Let's talk about how transgenders are killing innocent people. That's what he did on Fox News. He knows what he's doing. He knows that's how you get the Republican base. That's how you get the Trump supporters. That's how you get the MAGAs. Attack transgenders. Say you're going to pardon Donald Trump. The Republican base, those on the far right, those that are MAGA supporters, they love it. I would never vote for this guy, Ramaswamy. He's so disingenuous with what he says, it's a joke. And it's despicable and it's disgusting. And it's a joke. And it's wrong. And meanwhile, while all this is going on, we see all the attacks from the right when it comes to Joe Biden and what took place in Maui. Joe Biden was in Maui yesterday. He said he was eventually going to go, but he didn't want to get in the way in the recovery efforts. And there are still, I believe, over 800 people that are missing. It's terrible. And Biden went to the scene in the worst, deadliest American wildfire in more than 100 years. The president sought to reassure residents that the federal government will support their recovery, pointing to the historic tree that stood nearby, its branches scorched. He said, today it's burnt, but it's still standing. Trees survive for a reason. I believe it's a powerful, very powerful symbol. What we can and what we do to get through this crisis, for as long as it takes, we're going to be with you. The whole country will be with you. But again, people want to make the comparisons between what happened in Maui to all the money that Joe Biden is sending to the Ukraine. Number to call, 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the conversation, now would be the time to do so. 702-221-7283. Let's start off with Edward. Edward, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, Brian? How you doing today?
Doing all right, my friend. What's on your mind?
Hey, I was thinking, about what you've been saying about some of these people and about Trump, but, sometimes the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Okay, explain. What do you mean by that?
Sometimes you need these people in this world because, like, with this guy, he's going to pardon Trump. So it's almost like someone's washing your hands. Like, one hand washes the other. Like, hey, I do something for you, you're going to do something for me. Back and forth. Give and take.
I mean, I'm not sure what I can do for some of these MAGA supporters. I really don't know what I can do for them. I try to spell out the facts, and I try to lay out what's going on in the world and the hatred. A perfect example. I've been talking about this innocent woman that was killed in California. Yeah, all because she had a gay pride flag in front of her store. And then there are people on social media that are saying, I'm spreading the hatred. You can't speak reason to people that are brainwashed, and you can't speak reason to people that are ignorant, that don't understand facts. It's very, very difficult to do that.
But also, Brian, you have to give and take. You know what I mean? Like, it's like even like when you go to church, you don't agree with everything the preacher says. You know what I mean? You got to give and take little things here and there, and then put it in your own perspective.
When somebody spreads bigotry Like, I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you an example, and then you can tell me what you think. If I walked into a church, or you walked into a church, let's just say, and you go in there,
right? A synagogue.
yeah, well, whatever the case, synagogue or church,
Okay,
whatever religion you are, that doesn't matter.
Sure.
Or the rabbi or the priest is using the term queer and mocking those who are gay.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to stay in that church, and would you want to say, okay, well, let's just give this person a break? Or would you walk out and say, you know what, I'm not going to deal with bigotry in a place of worship, and I'm not going to tolerate that? What would you do?
I would say, you know what, I'm listening to this hate speech, this preaching, and I would say, you know what, that's not me. That's not who I represent.
I wouldn't. Okay, that's fair. Right, that's what I would do. I agree, and that's my point. There are certain people in society that I'm not going to give. I'm not going to take anything from them. They're hateful people. Yeah. They're bigots. Some of them hide behind their religion. Some of them use their religion as an excuse to judge people. And I'm not going to tolerate people like that, because I think they're all bastards. I think they're bigots. They're despicable people. And I can't stand these people that tell me that, oh, well, being gay is a sin. You know what? You can disagree with that lifestyle all you want to, but when you say you're a sinner, that usually means you're going to treat them differently. And I don't tolerate that. I don't tolerate that. And that's part of the reason why this 66-year-old innocent woman in California is dead. It's part of the reason why, we had January 6th. There are ignorant bigots and despicable human beings that listen to every word that Donald Trump says. They still believe that he won the 2020 election. They're dumb as a doornail. And I can't speak reason to some of these people. I just can't.
But Brian, you got to also understand, just because you listen to somebody, it doesn't mean you're going to load up a gun and go do something dumb. You know what I mean?
But like, I agree. Okay, here's where I agree, but here's where I disagree. I'm not saying. I'm not raising my voice. Okay, I got you. I'm not saying that if you think being gay is a sin, that you would go out and murder somebody. However, here's what I am saying. When you spread that type of hatred, and I call it bigotry, then some crazy people in society will buy into it, and they'll do crazy things, horrific things. So that's why I say, just because you don't commit the crime doesn't mean that you're not helping others. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. It's like when you go out and you buy a gun. Not everyone that buys a gun is going to do something dumb, but there is a few people that do.
That's why we all have a responsibility. We all have a responsibility to treat others with the same respect. Equality is the word that I would use. And I'm specifically talking about, gender ideology, if you're gay, if you're straight, what the color of your skin is. There is a portion. Go ahead.
No, I liked what you said about the parade. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? As long as it's not stopping me from getting home or getting, to my destination fast enough, I could care less what you did.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree with you, and I don't understand these people.
I agree with you.
I don't understand why there is a portion of society, and listen, I don't know how, 20% of this country, I don't know, people that are just bigots, that treat others differently because of the color of their skin, where they're from. They treat others differently. This white nationalism nonsense. Defend Vladimir Putin in Russia. Attack the gay community. Attack transgenders. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it again. These are not liberals, and these are not Democrats. The overwhelming majority of these people are right-wingers, people on the far extreme right. In no way, shape, or form am I saying if you're a Republican, you fall into that category. But the overwhelming majority of people that are these kinds of bigots, that are anti-gay, anti-transgender, anti-minority, anti-immigrant, they ain't Democrats. They're not Democrats. And I'm sick of these people. I really am.
I've actually enjoyed our conversation today, and I've enjoyed listening. And I hope Trav does call in, and I'd like to hear.
He won't, because he's a coward. Well, anybody, I appreciate that, Edward, and thank you for the call. Always good to hear from you. This guy Travis won't call in. These people on social media that make stupid MAGA comments, they're cowards. They won't call in. I give out the number. They'll make comments on social media, but they're not willing to have a conversation because they're not smart enough. That's why. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. And again, the number, if you do want to be a part of the conversation, that number is 702-221-7283. But, it's interesting because, Joe Biden goes to Maui, he shows compassion. By the way, here's something that Joe Biden didn't do. He wasn't tossing out malarkey hats I didn't see him doing that. He didn't go into a McDonald's and toss toilet paper to people. I didn't see him doing that. No, the man was speaking from a perspective of having empathy for others. But you MAGA morons out there love to see the photo ops of Donald Trump holding a Bible backwards as if that's some sort of wonderful symbol, or, throwing toilet paper out to people, tossing toilet paper out. How disrespectful can you possibly be? Or tossing out MAGA hats, because when Donald Trump goes to an event like the train derailment, what did he do to really help people out there? He tossed out MAGA hats. It was a campaign rally for Donald Trump. Joe Biden wasn't out there for a campaign rally. He wasn't out there tossing out Joe Biden hats or malarkey hats. He didn't buy two people, a Happy Meal at McDonald's, although I would have accepted one because I do like Happy Meals, just for the record. But you get my point. He wasn't doing any of that stuff. I don't know what's going to happen here in the next year or so. I really don't. I really don't. I fear not that Donald Trump will be exonerated. I fear not that Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. I fear violent acts. I fear like we're going to have another January 6th. I feel like so long as Donald Trump keeps spouting out stuff on his Lie Social website, violent acts, more. I'm going to have to be reporting on more violent acts. A 66-year-old innocent woman that is dead because she had a gay pride flag in front of her store. Sadly, it's not going to be the last time that's going to happen because of that. I feel like it's going to happen more. As long as we promote bigotry, as long as right-wing conservative talk show hosts don't call out white supremacists, so long as right-wing talk show hosts continue to go after drag queens reading books to kids in the transgender community, violent acts are going to continue to happen. I wish I was wrong. I wish I was wrong, but I'm not. I'm not. And it breaks my heart. It absolutely breaks my heart. And it's awful. And, Donald Trump's refusal to heed the attacks on judges in his various criminal and civil cases, he's been asked not to post on social media, tamper with witnesses, juries, and justice. And I think if he does it again, there's speculation that Donald Trump could go to jail. It's clear that the former president wants to send the message that he is ready to defy any legal authority and play by his own rules. He's been doing that his whole life. He's been playing by his own rules. He's never been said no. It's getting worse. And listen, I call out hate speech, crazy people on both sides. And this is another example. A Secret Service has arrested a Chicago woman yesterday after prosecutors alleged that she sent multiple menacing emails to a Florida school in which she threatened to kill former President Donald Trump and his teenage son, Barron. She said, quote, "I will shoot Donald Trump Sr. and Barron Trump straight in the face at any opportunity that I get." She emailed the headmaster of a Palm Beach school in Florida. Days later, court documents alleged that the 41-year-old again emailed the unnamed school official and said, "I am going to slam a bullet in Barron Trump's head with his father in self-defense." Secret Service agents in Chicago interviewed her on June 14th, 2023, during which time she admitted that she had written the threatening messages from her Illinois home. A senior law enforcement official said that she had been on the U.S. Secret Service's radar for several years, and recently the nature of her threats escalated to become more specific. And obviously, I wouldn't condone that, just as I wouldn't condone anybody making threats to the Biden family. It's awful. And it goes back to what I said earlier. There are crazy people in society that are capable of doing crazy things. And the last things we want to do, if you're a member of the media, if you're a politician, whoever you are, if you have a platform, is to spread that hateful rhetoric on your platform, whatever that might be. It could be Lie Social or Truth Social, whatever the hell it's called. Could be Facebook, could be YouTube, could be TikTok, could be anything. We all have a responsibility to not incite violence and to be accurate. We could all disagree on opinions. That's fine. but there are crazy people out there. We had the crazy person a few weeks ago, I think in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken, that threatened Joe Biden, or Utah, I think, and was killed by agents, threatened to kill the Bidens. And now we have this lady, another nut job, who's threatening to kill Donald Trump and Donald Trump's son. What the hell has Donald Trump's son ever done? I'm not talking about Eric and Donald Trump Jr., Uday and Kusei. Those aren't the sons that I'm talking about. I'm talking about Barron. What the hell has that guy done? What has he done? He's a kid. So this is terrible, and I'm glad the FBI did their due diligence. All right, speaking of Donald Trump, I'll actually probably ask him about this coming up next. This is quite the opportunity to have this guy on. And we are going to be giving him a call. The 45th president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure he's going to have a lot to talk about. And we're not going to get a lot of time with him, but we're going to get a little bit of time with him. That's right, the 45th president of the United States. I cannot wait for this. Donald J. Trump will be joining us next. There's probably going to be some things he's not able to talk about. But we'll see. We'll see. Donald J. Trump joining us on the show next, the 45th president. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada has ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well. So I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust and someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Wynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-540-3311.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. I want to tell you guys about my good friends at the Postal Annex. They have a notary signing agent on-site daily, no appointment needed, and they offer a full scale of printing services from shipping labels to documents, business cards, banners, photos, and business signage. They're your passport service headquarters. They offer passport photos, and they can renew your adult passports. If you're traveling in a hurry, they can get those passports to you within 7 days or less. Mailbox rentals with a physical street address, and they also receive your packages from Amazon, UPS, FedEx, USPS, and more. Here's the best part. If you're a Pushing the Limits listener, they have an introductory rate of only $39 for a 3-month service. You can't beat it. Give them a call. 702-873-8005. Check them out at 6130 West Flamingo Road. It's the Postal Annex. Tell them I sent you.
Hey, Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. Fantasy football draft is upon us. And in Las Vegas, your #1 draft party destination is Sapphire. Don't miss their sexy sports podcaster and Instagram vixen, Lisa Ann, kicking off the fantasy football draft party poolside at Sapphire Day Club, complete with dozens of topless entertainers and cocktail servers, bartenders, free Wi-Fi, and, of course, fantasy draft boards to stake your top picks. Draft poolside or inside Sapphire Las Vegas. Packages are available now online at SapphireLasVegas.com and SapphireDayClub.com. Text or call 702-869-0003 to reserve your draft party today. Again, that number, 702-869-0003, and I'll see you at Sapphire.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site x-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams and treatments such as testosterone enhancement and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices, office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client, so please give them a call, 702-248-0554.
Open Road Radio, Monday night at 6 on KSHP, North Las Vegas, AM and FM, K2968B, North Las Vegas, and KSHP.com.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Tuesday. I want to tell you guys about my good friend Blake Gwynn over at Keller Williams Group. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home, there's really no better person to contact than Blake. Of course, his late grandfather, Kenny Gwynn, great governor. Blake grew up here in Vegas his entire life. And if you're thinking of buying or selling a home, don't you want someone that knows the lay of the land? Please give Blake a call at Keller Williams, 702-540-3311. Again, that number, 702-540-3311 is the number to call. All right, well, I don't want to keep this man waiting on the line any longer. He's had quite a busy week, and for him to take the time to join us on the show, it's certainly an honor and a pleasure. The 45th President of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, Donald J. Trump, joining us right now on the line. Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us.
Brian, how are you?
I am doing okay. How are you? Sound a little sick. Are you doing okay there, Mr. President?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. You know, I'm just running myself ragged, trying to make America great again. But, you know, every time I turn around, I get hit with another phony baloney indictment. It's so sad. It's so sad. And I have all of these rhinos running against me who all said I was the greatest president in the history of presidents. I got Chris Christie, the Hindenburg, waddling against me. This guy, the only thing he runs for is a steak on the grill. It's sad. It's really, really sad. You know, I want everyone to know who's listening. I'm at 75% in the polls. Somehow Chris Christie's at 60. Oh, wait a minute. That's his body fat. I'm sorry. He's at 9. He's at 9. It's terrible with people with this. You know, seriously, Chris Christie's A1C is WTF. It's really unbelievable. This guy's got more chins than a Chinese phone book. It's sad. He hasn't seen his little mini Christie sausage in 35 years. This guy thinks he's going to beat me. The man's spleen is made out of pepperoni. I have to tell you,
Mr. President, I have to ask you this though, because my understanding is you're going to be weighed on a scale when you're indicted this week in Georgia. Does that concern you at all? That everybody's going to know what your weight is?
It does concern me because, you know, usually I weigh myself. I don't like to be naked. I shower in my suit. But I have to tell you, when I do weigh in, I like to get on the scale just when I have my tidy whities on. But speaking of scales, you know, Chris Christie has the only scale that says to be continued on the next scale. They don't need that for me, but he needs it because he's so, you know, the guy is just unbelievable. But I don't want to weigh in front of people because, you know, that they're going to have, you know, an officer who doesn't like me put their thumb or their foot on the scale, and they're going to make me look a lot heavier than I am. Because as you know, I'm the healthiest president in the history of presidents. Dr. Rodney Jackson said I could live to be 200 years old. Do you remember when he said that?
I don't remember. I don't remember if he said you were going to be 200 years old.
Believe me, he said that. He said that.
I don't recall that.
Probably in fantastic shape, and I'm a tremendous lover. Ask Melania if you ever see her, because I have. You know,
that's true. Nobody's seen her, Mr. President. How much?
Nobody's seen her.
No. Where's Melania Trump? By the way, now that you bring that up,
I don't know. The problem is the ankle bracelet. She somehow got it off. I guess she used her file or something and took it off. It's sad. It's sad.
That is sad.
And she loves hide and go seek. She loves hide and go seek. We're in a 3-week marathon game at Mar-a-Lago. The problem is at Mar-a-Lago, we have a lot of doors that lead to the outside. So we're stealing a lot of it.
Mr. President, I have to ask you this question, sir. Why are you not going to be on the stage for the Republican presidential debate tomorrow night? Why did you decide not to do that?
Brian, that's the stupidest question you've ever asked me. And here's why. I have already won the presidency. Why would I go up against Ron DeSatan? Ron dishonest, Ron de terrible. Listen, why would I go up against, he's polling at what, 9? Christie's at like 8. Yep. Why would I go on stage and waste my time with a bunch of losers? I've already won. So I'm going to go on Tucker Carlson, the man I can't stand, but he gets great ratings. And we're going to do what's called counter programming. Counter programming. Have you ever heard of that? I made that term up. No one was saying counter programming until I started saying
I like it.
Programming.
I like it, Mr. President. I do.
And no one's going to watch. No one's going to watch because these people, you know, DeSantis has got DeSanctimonious has a personality of a doorstop. Let me tell you something. I've been on. I've met so many boring people in my life, but he's the most boring. And by the way, it was over for him. He came to me, he's begging me, crawled into his office face down with his hands like he was climbing up a mountain. Sir, President Trump, sir, could you endorse me, sir? I'm like, Ron, you're negative 50. You're negative 50. And he said, sir, if you endorse me, I'll win the governorship, sir. I was like, you know, Ron, I don't know, but against my better judgment, I said, all right, I endorse you. And within 15 minutes, he was governor. It was probably the fastest race in history. Yeah. He was sworn in, and the first thing he did, Ron to Benedict Arnold, turned his back on me. That's why I call him Ron to Satan. He's Satan.
But
true.
I didn't know he crawled into your office. That's news. I didn't know he did
crawled into my office, and I said, yeah, I even said, you know, I called him Ron DeBallis because that's what he is. He doesn't have any.
Well,
I have so many names for him. I like to workshop a couple more. How's
sure.
Ron to one wife. Ron to one wife. How about that one?
That's a good one, Mr. President. I like
Ron Diozeptic. Ron Diozeptic, because the guy's got to lose some weight. He's a little, he's a little bulky. He's got to stop working out. You know what? He eats a lot too. Maybe he's Ron D. Donuts. Ron to Donuts.
Ron to Donuts. That's actually my favorite. Donuts. That's my favorite one, Mr. President. But what do you make about a guy like a Ramaswamy who said that he would pardon you if he becomes president of the United States? Do you like him?
Well, I have to tell you, you know, I think you and I are very close. We talk almost every day. And as you know, I love the Indian people, great people, fantastic people, hardworking people. And I was over in India. When I was president, and I'm still technically the president, but I was over there, and I was in a cricket stadium, and I don't know why. I guess they worship crickets and cows over there. Who knows? But we were there in the cricket stadium, 100,000 people, mainly guys. It was a sausage fest, and it smelled like curry and BO, I have to tell you, but they loved me. And Ramaswamy, Tyvek Ramaswamy, he made a lot of money selling Tyvek, but he's only 15, so I don't think he's old enough to be president.
Do you think, Mr. President, do you think that you should be under the age of 80 to be president? Do you think there should be an age limit? Because a lot of people think Joe Biden's too old.
I have to tell you something. I do think there should be an age limit, but it shouldn't apply to me. Shouldn't apply to, because you have to admit, I'm probably the feistiest 77-year-old you've ever met. I mean, look at Biden. He's walking around there. Oh, where am I? Hey, man, how's it going? That's sarsaparilla, malarkey, popcorn. Hey, come on, man. That guy's walking in circles. I don't know if you know this. He is so old, they discontinued his blood type. They're not making any more of his blood. It's true.
Wow.
And they have plenty of my blood. They have plenty of my blood because my uncle, John Trump, and you can look this up, I'm not making this up, taught at MIT for 40 years. He was a super genius. I'm a stable genius. He's a super genius. He taught at MIT for 40 years, and they have my blood and his blood. My blood is his blood, and his blood is my blood, and this land is your land. It was made for you and me, mainly me, because I'm so rich.
Mr. President, I have to ask you this, though. Like, if you're so rich, then why aren't you paying for all the other co-conspirators in this latest Georgia indictment? Because I've heard Jenna Ellis and some of these people that are indicted, you're not helping them out. Giuliani, I heard, is hurting for money. And why are you asking for donations? If you have all the money that you have and you're so wealthy like you claim you are, then why are you begging for money? And why aren't you helping out some of these co-conspirators?
Well, first of all, I'm rich, So I don't like to spend my money. I like to spend other people's money. And the only way I can get other people's money is if they send it to me. They have to send it to me, then I spend it the way I see fit. You know what I'm saying? Because who wants to take their own money to pay for something when people are willing to send me money? And that's kind of the art of the deal right there, which, by the way, is my favorite book. You know, my second favorite, the Bible. The Bible, but I'm not in it. I'm not in the Bible, but they say I'm going to be in the new version coming out very, very soon. As far as Jenna Ellis, who's okay, and Rudy, Rudy's losing it, I have to tell you. But why would I pay their bills? Why would I pay their bills? I never told them to do that stuff. They're doing that on their own. You know what I mean? They can ask for money. Rudy's doing cameos. I heard he made over $1,200 last year. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. If you're just joining us, he's the 45th president of the United States, Donald Trump.
And 47th, and I'm technically the president right now. So I've always have been, always will be the president, you know. And when I get in, I think you've seen the rallies. It's going to be president for life. I'm not leaving.
You're never going to leave.
Back in.
Well,
president for life.
I have to ask you this.
President for life.
Well, I have to ask you this, Mr. President. Are you afraid, are you scared at all that with these 4 indictments, there is the possibility that you could go to jail? Has that entered your mind at all? And does that scare you, Mr. President?
If I go to jail, I will unite all of the different gangs in the jail, and I will be the POTUS prison president, and everyone will love it because, you know, we've got a large, you probably remember I did a big prison reform bill because of Kim Kardashian. Boy, what a body she has. Let me tell you something.
We don't disagree.
But I did a big prison reform bill, and a lot of people don't know this, but in that bill is a set aside for a tiny mansion on the prison grounds if some ex-president or president end up going to jail on trumped-up charges so they can live a normal life. But, you know, you probably remember the Goodfellas. They had a little section of their own. They got, they were cutting the garlic with the razor blade, and they had the sausage and the pasta. Yep. That's how I see myself. I'll be the kingpin. I'll be the kingpin in the prison. And by the way, these federal prisons, it's just like a resort. It's almost like Trump Mar-a-Lago. So maybe we'll just set up Trump Mar-a-Lago as the prison that I don't have to leave, which I don't like to leave anyway.
Mr. President, you've been asked to not make any sort of threats towards the DOJ or judges or taint the jurors you've been asked not to do that time and time again. Why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep doing it?
Well, because, listen, I don't think Mike Pence is getting the message. And by the way, all I said to Mike Pence was, I said, Mike, accidents happen, okay? Toasters fall into bathtubs, dogs suddenly turn on their owners, scaffolding collapses, planes go down. That's all I said. Is that a threat? Does that sound like a threat to you? That doesn't sound like a threat to me. It's more like it's just something you say to people that you love and you care.
What would you say to Mike Pence right now? Like if you were in a room alone with him, Mr. President, because I know you're not very happy with him these days, and a lot of people are not happy with him, to your defense. What would you say to Mike Pence right now? What do you think about him?
Stop being such a tough guy. He thinks he's so tough. Oh, I only was following the instruction of my attorney. Don't listen to your attorneys. They didn't get you to the White House. I got you to the White House. Don't listen to these guys and all their legalese. You know what I'm talking about? All that stuff they say in court. All those terminologies. I'm probably the greatest attorney in the history of attorneys, and I'm not even an attorney. I mean, look, if Rudy can be an attorney, anybody can be an attorney, if you know what I'm saying.
You don't hear an argument from me. I guess this would be my last question, Mr. President. What would be your message to the people of Las Vegas? Of course, you've got the Trump Tower here, and I know you never were able to get the gaming license here, which I find interesting, but what would be your message to the good people in Las Vegas and the state of Nevada, as you do have some supporters here, many supporters here, even though you've been indicted for a 4th time now? What would be your message to them?
My message is, in a city that people love numbers, like you just said, 4 indictments, 91 criminal counts. No one else running has these numbers. I put more numbers on the board than anybody, but I just want everyone to know how much I love Las Vegas. It doesn't matter where you're from in the world or the country. Las Vegas is the complete opposite, and that's why I love coming to my second home, Trump Tower in Las Vegas because Las Vegas is the only place where you can get a woman delivered to your room faster than a pizza, which I think is incredible. I've seen the trucks on the Strip. I just think that's miraculous, really.
I have too. Mr. President, thank you so much for your time. I know that you're good friends with a very close friend of mine, and I'd like to get him on the line. He's a very talented comedian,
Sure.
extremely talented comedian, and he lives here in the great city of Las Vegas, and I wanted to bring him on the line now if I can. He's also a fantastic Donald Trump impersonator, and he impersonates about 5,000 other people, by the way. John DiDomenico joining us right now on the line. John, you are the best. You are the best, my friend.
I was loaded for bear this morning, so I was ready to go.
John, I would imagine you've been a pretty busy man lately with everything that's going on with Donald Trump.
Oh my God! Well, I got some. Last night I did Carrot Top's show. He's had me come in a number of times, so I joined Carrot Top in his show. Did like a little. He and I did a bit on stage, which we've done once before. Yesterday I hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube with my latest Trump video. So things are popping again in the comedy Trump world, which is awesome.
That is so cool, and I know you're still making regular appearances right on the Howard Stern show.
Yeah, I'll be back on very soon. I'm not allowed to give specifics, but it's going to be very soon in September, once after Labor Day. I don't know why they give us these ridiculous rules, but it's the day after the 10th of September.
Okay, fair enough.
That helps.
That does help a little bit. You know, Donald Trump is the gift that just keeps on giving, and you happen to be, in my opinion, world's best Donald Trump impersonator, and you do so many others that are phenomenal as well. But God, you're Donald Trump.
Right, baby. I got to do my favorite band. Gassiera, baby. I love piece of taco grease. I'm driving the bus to play the town. You know what I'm saying, man?
I love it. I love it. I have a feeling, John, we might have you on again down the road if you're nice enough to take the time. I always love it when you come on, my friend, and I know how busy you are.
Oh, it's always a pleasure.
I appreciate
it. I always get to workshop my material.
It's always phenomenal, and we're honored that you try it out on this show because my chest is hurting. You make me laugh so hard, John. You're the best. Always appreciate it. Say hello to your lovely wife for me, and appreciate you coming on, John. You take care, okay?
All right, I'll see you. Thanks, man.
Take care. Bye-bye. God, I love that guy. I love that guy. John DiDomenico, everybody. I love that guy. As I'm getting messages on my phone, are you really talking to the president? And that's how good that's how good his Donald Trump is. It's unbelievable. Yeah, he's on the Howard Stern show all the time. So, yeah, he always texts me. He's like, I want to try some new material on your show. I said, you just come right on and give it a try. What was his nickname for Ron DeDonuts? What's there, Ron DeSantis? I'm just dying here. Ron DeDonuts. Boy, he had a lot of things to say about Chris Christie, too. I got to go back and listen to that. A lot of fat-shaming jokes about Chris Christie, which the real Donald Trump does as well. So it definitely makes sense to me. We love John DiDomenico. He is the best, and we appreciate him coming on, and he will definitely come back on again soon. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. We have plenty more to get to in this show, including an elected official in New York who happens to be black making some very racially insensitive statements, and we have the audio to play it for you, and he happens to be a Democrat, believe it or not. We'll take a quick break, and we'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada has ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well, so I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust and someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Wynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-540-3311.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. I want to tell you guys about my good friends at the Postal Annex. They have a notary signing agent on-site daily, no appointment needed, and they offer a full scale of printing services from shipping labels to documents, business cards, banners, photos, and business signage. They're your passport service headquarters. They offer passport photos, and they can renew your adult passports. If you're traveling in a hurry, they can get those passports to you within 7 days or less. Mailbox rentals with a physical street address, and they also receive your packages from Amazon, UPS, FedEx, USPS, and more. Here's the best part. If you're a Pushing the Limits listener, they have an introductory rate of only $39 for a 3-month service. You can't beat it. Give them a call, 702-873-8005. Check them out at 6130 West Flamingo Road. It's the Postal Annex. Tell them I sent you. Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site x-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams and treatments such as testosterone enhancement and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices, office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client, so please give them a call, 702-248-0554. Hey, Shapiro from Pushing the Limits here. Fantasy football draft is upon us, and in Las Vegas, your #1 draft party destination is Sapphire. Don't miss their sexy sports podcaster and Instagram vixen, Lisa Ann, kicking off the fantasy football draft party poolside at Sapphire Day Club, complete with dozens of topless entertainers and cocktail servers, bartenders, free Wi-Fi, and of course, fantasy draft boards to stake your top picks. Draft poolside or inside Sapphire Las Vegas. Packages are available now online at sapphirelasvegas.com and sapphiredayclub.com. Text or call 702-869-0003 to reserve your draft party today. Again, that number, 702-869-0003, and I'll see you at Sapphire. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits, joining us on a Tuesday, and appreciate you guys checking in with us. Very special guests that are going to be joining us throughout the remainder of the week. Let me just give you a little quick rundown. By the way, we appreciate the 45th president joining us with all the stress that he's going through. That was very nice of him to join us. Maybe I'll turn and be a MAGA supporter. I don't know. So we have the Republican debate, the first one, tomorrow. So that's a big news day for anybody that's involved in politics. It's going to be a big news day. So I wanted to preview it with people that I respect. Daniel Littman from Politico is going to be joining us tomorrow. Great reporter, great political reporter. So he's going to kind of give us a preview. And then former presidential candidate. Man, is this guy popular on social media. He was just on CNN the other day. He's got a huge following on social media. I mean, when Joe Walsh tweets about anything political, he has like 10,000 retweets in like 10 minutes. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Joe Walsh will be joining us tomorrow as well.
to preview the Republican presidential debate minus Donald Trump. So we got those two that are going to be joining us tomorrow. And then on Thursday, the former Republican chair here in the great state of Nevada, Amy Tarkanian, is going to be joining us to kind of get her thoughts on the debate. We might have some more special guests on Thursday to chime in, but Amy Tarkanian will be joining us on Thursday. And we got some really awesome guests on Friday. Comedian Jeff Leach is going to be joining us on Friday in studio. This is the guy who's done pretty much every voiceover for any popular video game out there right now, and he's an actor, a very funny comic. He's been on the show tomorrow, so I've been on the show before, so I can't wait to have Jeff Leach join us in studio. And on Friday, also, Nicole Mitchell will be coming back on. Love Nicole for a lot of different reasons. I think Numchuck would agree with me on that. Pastor turned stripper, Nicole Mitchell. She's awesome. She's going to be joining us on the show Friday as well. So we got a jam-packed show here throughout the remainder of the week, as we always do here. Great guests. So I'm really looking forward to that. By the way, this Reawaken tour, have you heard about this? It's going to be in Vegas this week. It's Don Jr., Eric Trump, Alex Jones, Michael Flynn. So the organizer agreed to come on the show like 2 weeks ago, right? Now he's been dodging me. This guy said he would come on, and I was going to ask him. Listen, I was going to be respectful to him, but listen, Alex Jones, we know all the despicable things that Alex Jones has said, right? Alex Jones, in regards to October 1, also said that Democrats orchestrated it and they were paid actors, right? We all know that Alex Jones is a despicable human being. I would ask this guy, last name is Clark, I would ask him, I would say, I understand that everybody has freedom of speech, right? You have your First Amendment rights. I get that. And if Alex Jones wants to go on a sidewalk and say that Democrats orchestrated the October 1 shooting, he does have the right to do so. I'd call him an a-hole and a piece of garbage for doing so, but he has the right to do that. But my question to this organizer of this event is, why would you pay somebody and give somebody a platform that spews this sort of hateful rhetoric? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Now, listen, the guy's dodged me. He said he would come on 2 weeks ago. Now he's not coming on. He'll probably only go on the conservative, safe place, right-wing echo chamber radio shows to promote this stupid event. I got to be honest with you. I might go out there just to set the scene and to see all the wackadoodles that would actually pay to hear somebody like Alex Jones speak, or Eric Trump, or Donald Trump Jr., or Flynn, or whoever, all the Looney Tunes that they got out there speaking. Because that's what they are. They're despicable people, and they're Looney Tunes, and they're crazy, and they're dangerous for the country. So, I'll tell you what else is dangerous for the country. And listen, people hear me trash Trump and go after Donald Trump and the despicable person that he is, and the criminal, in my opinion, that he is. But when I see something on the other side of the aisle, I try to call it out best I can. And this is no exception to that. So there's a Democrat representative out of New York, and it kind of made headlines yesterday. His name is Charles Barron. I don't know if you've heard about this story. And in this clip, it's a public forum, too. That's what makes this even more mind-boggling. It's one thing if you show your racism behind closed doors. That's bad enough. This is a public forum. This is an elected official in New York. Again, his name is Charles Barron. And he's talking about the departure of white people in his community. Have a listen to this, and then we'll discuss.
I have the distinct honor to be able to come before you and say I actually lost white population in my community. I lost them. They left. They left. I didn't ask them why. They left. So if you see 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 whites in my neighborhood, they're passing through. But that's on a serious note. We got 13,000 black elected officials in this country. We've had mayors, we've had governors, we have city council members. We need to get radical.
Okay, let me be very clear. This guy should be outed. He's an embarrassment to Democrats. He's an embarrassment to this country. When you start, I want you to think about this for a second. Imagine if we had a white elected official. Forget about whether it's a Republican or a Democrat for a moment. Imagine if you had a white elected official voted in, could be New York, could be Nevada, doesn't matter. And he's sitting up there on a stage and he says, gloating about it, that we have fewer black people living in my community. And if you see 1, 2, 3, or 4 black people walking around in the community, they're just passing by. And then he has a smile on his face and people were laughing. Now, he would be called a racist. And by the way, rightfully so. And it would be all over CNN. It would be all over everywhere, Fox News, everywhere, I would imagine, especially if it was a Democrat, right? And that person would probably be forced to resign. Where is this story? It's on a few publications, but it's not in a lot. I'm surprised it's not everywhere. Here is a black elected official who's making jokes and gloating about the fact that white people are leaving his community and also making racist statements. And by the way, how about the people there that are clapping? What a bunch of idiots. How dumb can you possibly be? Listen, if you don't like white people and you're black, fine. You're a racist, because here's a news flash for you. Not every white person is a racist. Not every white person dislikes you because of the color of your skin. I'm a perfect example of that. And if somebody would be happy that I'm leaving their community because I'm white, I would be offended by that. That's called a racist. That's a bigot. And the Democrats in New York should be calling this man out. Some of them are, not enough. This sort of racist rhetoric has no place in politics, and it should have no place in this country. Now, I applaud the fact that you're getting more black, people that are involved in politics and in office. I think that's a good thing. I don't have a problem with that at all. But I do have a problem when you're representing a number of people. And last I checked, you represent all people, black people, white people, no matter what the color of your skin is or where you're from. And the fact that this guy had the gall to brag about how less white people are living in his community. And if you see white people in your community that somehow they're just passerbyers, is repugnant. This man clearly is a racist. Charles Barron clearly doesn't understand that there are plenty of white people, I would imagine, that voted him in. He needs an immediate apology. Immediate. Which hasn't come yet. Apologize to all the white people in your community, whether it's 3 or 4 people or 4,000 people. You should be apologizing immediately. And I think when you make a statement like that and you're an elected official, that's grounds to have that person removed. That's just my personal opinion. Doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or Republican. In this situation, he's a Democrat. Does not represent the values of Democrats. He is one person, and he is a racist buffoon. And he absolutely should be outed. As I would say the same for anybody, Democrat or Republican. I've said those comments about Ilhan Omar, the stupid statements that the squad has made about Israel. If you want it to end on the right and you're on the left, then you can't do the same thing. And what Charles Barron has said there is absolutely despicable. And it's racist. On a positive note, ladies and gentlemen, the Henderson Little League baseball team is in the 5th inning. It's the top of the 5th. Or I'm sorry, the bottom of the 5th inning. They're playing Tennessee right now on national television, and it is a very, very tight game. Tennessee is up 2-1. This is an elimination game, and I'm looking at the score right now because I believe this game, if I'm not mistaken, is live on ESPN, right? And so Henderson has a runner on second base. Do a little baseball play-by for you. It looks like there's 2 outs, runner on second, in scoring position with a chance to tie the game and a really big at-bat here. So this is a big deal for a lot of different reasons, right? And Numchuck, I know you've been watching the game for a little bit.
Giffords on second and Big Hoss, both of them who were on the show, is batting.
That's right. They all came in studio here a few weeks ago, and Chris Wynn said they would win, and he was right. They're winning. All they're doing is winning. And this is in Tennessee or
Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. That's right.
They're
that's
at Williamsport.
Right. That's where they have the Little League World Series. And so that the problem is that Henderson's already lost one game. And if they lose this game, they're done. So this is a big deal. This is a big deal, and obviously this Tennessee team is really good as well. These are two really good teams. Nail biter, ladies and gentlemen. Nail biter.
Tennessee's pitchers had 10 strikeouts through 4.5.
How many innings, by the way?
6.
Oh, so they're only going to have one more inning.
Yeah.
So this is huge here. They might not get another opportunity with a runner in scoring position. So this is a big deal.
Very.
This is a big deal. If they can somehow find a way to get this runner home and tie this game, then it's anybody's game. So this is a big deal. So the guy who manages this team is a friend of mine. His name is Chris Petty. I've reffed basketball games with him over the years. Great guy. And whether they win or lose this game, to me, in the grand scheme of things, it's probably irrelevant because what they've done in representing the state of Nevada and Henderson and how far they've gone and playing all these games on national television, what an accomplishment. I mean, this is really incredible. And the amount of immense pressure that these 12-year-olds have, I mean, it's really unbelievable. It's incredible. So now we have a full count with a runner on second base. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Little League, they only play 6 innings, right, which I was unaware of.
Gifford wants to run, you can tell. Look at him. He is just...
This would be a good time for a dinger. Still a full count. It'd be a good time for a dinger right now. If there's any time you want a home run, this would be the spot right here because you might not get another opportunity.
The kid at bat is the kid that we said looks like the kid that did that. all I hit are dingers.
He walked him. Oh my God, what a terrible call. Okay, folks, I'm trying not to be biased here. That was 2 feet off the plate. That was an inside pitch. Not even close to the plate. That was inside. That is 100% a ball. And that was a terrible call by the umpire. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Maybe the umpire wants to go home. I don't know. But that was a really bad call. You can't call that a strike. But anyway. All right, so we'll be heading into the last inning, which normally would be the 9th inning. But in Little League, it's the 6th inning with this Henderson team down 1 run, 2-1 against Tennessee. And we will give you any updates that we can in this game. I want to talk a little Raiders football, but for a different purpose now. And I've been talking about this case for years now because it's been a few years. Former Raiders player Henry Ruggs has officially now been booked into a Nevada prison, according to an inmate search for the Nevada Department of Corrections. Ruggs has been booked into High Desert State Prison in Indian Springs. I want to say Indian Springs is about 2.5 hours from here. Is that right? Something like that,
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, I reffed some basketball games out there at that high school way back in the day. It's like way out there in the desert. It's a really small town. There's really not much to do out there, especially if you're behind bars. So the once first-round NFL draft pick was originally sentenced on August 9th, and by the way, we had his attorney on in an exclusive interview. He was sentenced to 3 years, a maximum of 10 years in a state prison. And he pled guilty to a pair of charges following the fiery 2021 DUI crash that killed 23-year-old Tina Tinter and her dog Max. So it's real now. No more house arrest for Henry Ruggs. Right now, he's sitting in a jail cell. He's now 24 years old. And as I mentioned, he was driving in excess of 156 miles an hour with a blood alcohol level that was twice the legal limit when his Chevrolet Corvette struck and killed Tintor in her Toyota in the early morning hours of November 2nd, 2021. Now, as part of this plea deal, Ruggs agreed to plead guilty to charges of DUI, resulting in death and vehicular manslaughter. In addition, some additional charges against him were dismissed, which, by the way, I don't agree with. The minimum 3-year sentence cannot be reduced by converting the 1.5 years that he was spent on house arrest to time already spent. But he could get out sooner on good behavior. I've been pretty opinionated on this case, and I've been pretty opinionated on DUI deaths and DUI crashes in general. This is a disgrace. As a society, what we're saying is, if you get into a car going over 100 miles an hour over the speed limit, and you're drunk off your ass, and you kill an innocent person on the roads, You could be out in 3 years or less. It's disgusting. It's despicable. Our laws need to change. Hey, listen, I don't blame Henry Ruggs' attorneys. They get paid a lot of money. They're skilled attorneys. Schoenfeld was another one of his attorneys. I don't blame them for representing their client to the best of their ability. I blame our justice system, and I blame the prosecutors. You should not have been okay. It should have gone to trial, and there shouldn't have been any deals. He had to plead guilty. The evidence was overwhelming. But you say to yourself, well, listen, there's plenty of other cases. Listen, I just talked about a case where a woman didn't injure anybody, didn't get in any accidents. She got a 7th DUI. She got 2 years in prison. Ruggs killed an innocent lady, innocent woman. And he might play football again. Now, listen, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I have no idea. But I've had a problem with this case since day one. I've said that, as far as DUI cases go, I think the laws need to change. In fact, I know they need to change. You might be saying, well, Brian, what would you do? Okay, well, I'll lay it out for you because I've thought about this. If you get one DUI and you don't get into an accident and you don't hurt anybody, just one DUI. I'm talking about DUIs where you don't get into a crash and you don't hurt anybody else. Let me start with that first. If you get one DUI and it's proven that you were over the legal limit driving a vehicle, you immediately lose your license for a year. Spend the night in jail. You get out the next day. I'm okay with that. But you lose your license for 1 year. Why? The next year, I want you to be thinking to yourself the mistake that you made while you take the bus or your friends have to give you rides. And during that year that you're not allowed to drive, if you get pulled over again for any reason, not even a DUI, if you're just caught driving a car, you lose your license for the rest of your life. And it's jail time. That's just one DUI. Now, let's just say you get that one DUI, again, without injuring anybody or getting into a crash. You wait a year, you wait it out, and you get your license back. And you get a second chance. If you get pulled over for just two, one is too many, but if you get 2, again, without hurting anybody, you're done. Your driver's license is revoked for the rest of your life on 2 DUIs. As far as jail time, I would leave that up to the courts at a discretionary basis. If you don't injure anybody or hurt anybody, but you're caught with a second DUI, you should never be allowed to drive a car again for the rest of your life. As far as jail time, I would let the courts decide on that. If it's no jail time, I would be okay with that. But that's it. You're done. If you're caught driving again, mandatory jail sentence. Could be 5 years, could be 10 years. And again, that's not hurting anybody. If you are drunk and you get into a car accident and you injure somebody, not even kill them, but you injure somebody, you should not be allowed to drive a car for the rest of your life. And it should be a mandatory prison sentence. I'm going to say minimum 5 years. Minimum. If you kill somebody, obviously lose your license for the rest of your life. I think it should be a minimum sentence of 10 years. Is this going to end all DUIs in this country? Absolutely not. But I guarantee you they'll lower. If somebody gets into a car drunk and they say to themselves, hey, if I get pulled over, I'm going to lose my license for a year. Even if they're drunk, I know some people would think twice about getting into their car. And if you've already had a DUI and you waited out for a year to get your license back, you think you're going to get another one? Now, some people might. But if you're thinking to yourself, hey, I'm going to lose my license for the rest of my life, I better not do it again. I'm telling you, I think there's going to be less people that are drunk on the roads. I really feel that way. I really do. And a 3-year sentence, because that's what Henry Ruggs is going to spend, probably less than that, is absurd when you look at the circumstances of this case. But Henry Ruggs is a man of means. He's got money. Was a professional football player. If you have money in this country, you can get that slap on the wrist. If you have money in this country, you can be Henry Ruggs and you can kill somebody and maybe spend 3 years in jail and then get out when you're still in your 20s, in your late 20s. I have a serious problem with that. I think it's wrong. I've been very opinionated on this case. I think it's wrong. But Henry Ruggs is behind bars right now. But he'll still be able to see his family. That's another thing, too, by the way. I don't think Ruggs should be 2.5 hours away. I think Ruggs should have been shipped out somewhere in the middle of the country. Make it inconvenient for people to see him. It's not his family's fault. It's not his friend's fault. But the fact that he's only 2.5 hours away, yeah. Preferential treatment, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I call it. Preferential treatment. So he's behind bars right now. It's gotten real for him. I hope that when he does get out of jail, he does what he claimed that he would do, which is help other people, younger people, and not make sure that there are people out there that don't do what he did, save other lives. I am hopeful that that's what Ruggs will do when he gets out of jail. But again, time will tell. And in talking about the Raiders, you can talk about coaching decisions, and you could talk about, listen, I don't blame the Raiders for signing Henry Ruggs, but you got guys that are in jail right now that were signed by the Raiders. You got guys that got into trouble. That certainly doesn't help. But everybody wants to not, and I'm talking about football now, and it's hard to make that transition from an innocent young poor woman losing her life to now talking about wins and losses on the football field, but I'll try to make that attempt right now. And I've said this about Mark Davis before, and I will say it again. I think Mark Davis is a really good guy. I like Mark Davis a lot. He's very personable. He's personable with the fans. I think Mark Davis is a good dude. And he's willing to spend money, and those are good qualities you want in an owner of really any franchise, and he's done a wonderful job with the Las Vegas Aces. I like him, and I also told him how much I respected the fact that during COVID, he made sure that if you went into Allegiant Stadium, you had to have been vaccinated. I love the fact that he did that. It was the right decision to make. Maybe it wasn't the most beneficial decision for him financially, but it was the right decision, and I told him that to his face. I appreciate that about him, and to me, that decision is far more important than any acquisition player you sign or coach you sign. I like Mark Davis. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I think he's a good guy. Is he a good football owner? I don't think so. Here's why. And I'm just going to go by the last 5 or 6 years, even before the Raiders got here, because that's when I really started to cover the team and follow the team. I thought signing John Gruden to a $100 million contract was a clown show joke. And by the way, that had nothing to do with my opinions of John Gruden, of the things he said in the emails and the controversy. I'll get to that. John Gruden, a guy who won half his games in the NFL. Is he a horrible football coach? No. Is he a great personality? Is he good with the media? Fans love him? Absolutely. But I felt like it was more of a signing, not from necessarily the head football coach of winning and losing games, but it's just because the personality of John Gruden. I didn't like the hire, and I thought the money they were paying him ridiculous. Obviously, the things John Gruden said were despicable, terrible, and the fact that he would actually put them in ink, more terrible. Talk about a horrible judgment on John Gruden's part. Terrible. So that was horrible circumstance. Now, John Gruden had a great staff. I loved Ole. I thought he was a really good offensive coordinator here. Versace, really good head coach. In the time that he was a head coach, I thought he did a really good job. Players really seemed to like him. And what they were able to do, phenomenal. Phenomenal. That was Mark Davis's biggest mistake is not keeping that coaching staff for another year after I thought it was a really nice job what they did in making the playoffs. So another big mistake that Mark Davis made. Now, mistake number 3, besides not, hiring John Gruden, that whole debacle, and then not re-signing Versace and Ole and the gang. That was a bad decision. And then I'm going to put number 3 is hiring Josh McDaniels. We see this all the time in sports where You let a coach go that you probably shouldn't have let go, and then you hire a coach that I believe is even a step down. Josh McDaniels has never won as a head coach. He failed in Denver miserably. And when you have, as an offensive coordinator, the best head football coach of all time in Bill Belichick. Now, I know he's kind of on the hot seat this year. And when you have the best quarterback in the history of the NFL in Tom Brady, I personally believe, in my estimation, that you're maybe not the best head coach that to be hired for this job. I do have some sad news to report. Gosh, I wish this was not the case. But the final score is official in the Little League World Series. Tennessee has defeated Henderson of a final score of 2-1. What a phenomenal job by Henderson. What a great run that they had, and they just ran into a buzzsaw with this pitcher on Tennessee. I mean, he pitched a heck of a game. And I know that these kids are going to be disappointed today, but they made Nevada really proud. Chris Petty and the gang management, they did a wonderful job. And for a team, you have 5,000 Little League teams across the country. For to be one of the top teams left, and there were like 10 teams left, right?
Yeah.
For them to make it this far is special. And I'm watching on the field right now, and the shaking of the hands and a lot of class showed. And obviously, it's got to be extremely disappointing. What a great pitching performance by both teams, huh? I mean, not a lot of scoring and a lot of great defense and great pitching. And well, this is sad because I wanted to continue to, report on this team winning baseball games because it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great ride.
So I have a request.
What's that?
Can we get them back in studio and ask them about this whole situation?
I would absolutely do that. I will.
These
ask them,
kids are.
Should I tell them to come to Sapphire?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just asking. Oh,
no.
Okay. I was just asking. It was just a question. That's all. I would absolutely love to invite them to come back.
Yeah.
And maybe we can get them in studio next week and ask them about the experience of playing out there in the Little League World Series and in front of the ESPN cameras and
because plus that gets them out of school another day.
This is true. Well, they ran into a buzzsaw with this Tennessee team. Really good pitching, and
I think he ended up with 11 strikeouts.
That's pretty phenomenal. But
which is insane. Yeah.
Listen, they look like pretty two evenly matched teams. It could have gone either way. There's a little, when you get to this point, there's got to be a little bit of luck involved. The way the ball bounces, timely hits at the right time. There's going to be luck involved. Congratulations to Nevada, to Henderson. Congratulations to this team. Congratulations to all the players and the coaches and the families and everybody that was involved. I just think the Little League World Series it's so much fun, right? Because you get to see a lot of players that play in the majors that played in the Little League World Series, and you see the pictures and all that, and it's pretty incredible. It's pretty awesome.
I forget that Tennessee had the only female on the team.
They do,
which is even better.
Yeah, there she is right there. That's pretty cool. What position does she play? That's impressive.
I think they're just kind of playing everything. I've seen them play everywhere.
That's pretty impressive. 11 strikeouts this kid had on Tennessee. Gosh darn it, it would have been fun to continue to report on this team. But you know what? Heck of a ride. And I will do that. I will reach out to the team and Chris Petty, who's the manager of this team, and I will ask them if they want to come back in studio. They are more than glad to. But aren't they going to school?
They can take a day off, right?
They've taken a few days off already, haven't they? I don't know. I don't know how it works. By the way, why the hell is school starting so early? Are these idiots that make these decisions, these morons? It's 110 degrees out there, and you want these kids to go to school in the middle of August? Are you freaking kidding me? Why do they do that? Back when I was in school started like in September, the first week in September. What are they doing to these kids? Let them enjoy summer, you morons. I don't know. I don't understand that. That really pisses me off. It's really hot. And these kids shouldn't be in I don't know. That's just anyway, I don't want to get into a whole tangent on that, but whatever. As I mentioned tomorrow on the show, big news day tomorrow. We got the Republican presidential debate. By the way, I am heading out with some friends tonight to Brett Raymer's new restaurant. He already has a Stallone's. You've heard the Chris Wynn spots for over a year now. Superhero, that is. We're not going to change that one. But Brett opened up a second Stallone's restaurant over at Santa Fe Station. And I haven't been able to go there yet. He just opened it the other day. And I will be attending and having a nice dinner there with some good friends at his new Italian restaurant tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, just kind of getting ready for the NFL season, you know? And by the way, Sapphire, you're going to hear more about this, but Sapphire, they've got some great Monday Night Football promotions and parties over there, which we will be a part of. So we will give you more information about that when I get it. But Sapphire is a great spot to watch Monday Night Football, no question about that. I'm going to be all over town today and tomorrow doing my thing. As I mentioned, the great guests we have the remainder of the week. And that's a wrap, folks. My thanks to Donald Trump for joining us, also known as John D. Dominic. Oh, he is the best. God, I love John. That guy is so awesome. He's so funny. I appreciate him joining us. Howard Stern actually pays him, and he volunteers to come on the show. That makes me feel very warm and fuzzy inside. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Appreciate it. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great day.